So in the song, Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind by DMX, clearly we all know he was talking about Kurupts. At the time, he was engaged and he was mad because allegedly Foxy Brown was running around New York sleeping with everybody, cheating on him. So he dropped calling out names. In that song, he mentioned DMX. In response, DMX dropped Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind. In the section where he says, you whack, you stupid, girl's a hoe. He was talking about Foxy Brown. You broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know. He was talking about a girl at the time that was claiming that she had Kurupts' baby, and all of his friends was telling him it wasn't his kid, and he was so desperate to have this kid in his life that he was claiming this child. And when he says, your own man think you stupid, be like, so I love my baby mama, I never let her go. He was talking about Snoop. Snoop told DMX all the info on Kurupts. DMX took it and made it his song.
Boy, that really went over my head because, first of all, the story started making its rounds like a couple of weeks ago or so when Exhibit went on that podcast and he pretty much told everybody that, yeah, DMX was dissing Kurupt on that song. A lot of people still didn't know that. I know a lot of y'all that, was living around that time, was adults around that time, probably already knew that, but it was still a lot of people that didn't know, okay? And I'm one of them. That's why, I appreciate this right now because, I consider myself a hip-hop head, more so for the music. I appreciate certain nostalgic stories and stuff like that, whatever. But like I said, it went over my head. I knew them boys had smoke, but this, they ain't even clicked not one time, right? And first of all, before I even say anything, where's Foxy Brown at? Because this is about the second time this story done made its way around, right? And then not to mention when your boy Keith Murray was on there wilding out on the camera, talking about her. Where's she at? I understand y'all don't want to bring up no negative stuff like that, but your boy Kurupt face all over this story right over here, right? So where she be at? That's all I'm saying. I don't know if she still do interviews or anything like that, man. Where's she at? You feel me? And I don't know, I just started thinking about it, right? Because like I said, I didn't really know them boys had smoke till I got older, low key, right? And then hearing this and that went over my head, I'm starting to think too. Because I remember your boy Kurupt was in that movie Half Past Dead. You had Steven Seagal in there. You had Morris Chestnut in there. And then you had your boy, the one and only, Ja Rule. Okay? Now, y'all already know Ja Rule and DMX at one point, they weren't the best of friends either. Them boys kind of had their little smoke going on. So, I wonder if, did he do that movie on purpose just to make him mad? He might have just got the role and it was just a coincidence, but, I be thinking about little stuff like that. But what really got me, right, before I even start, I don't appreciate no Uncle Snoop slander at all. I love Uncle Snoop. My grandma used to love Uncle Snoop. R.I.P. Grandma. And I don't like no Uncle Snoop slander at all. I be feeling like ever since All Eyes on Me came out and everybody discovered that Snoop and Pop, they weren't the best of friends or they weren't at good terms before he passed away. I feel like a lot of people discovered that and they started taking that and running with it and having their own opinion about Snoop and everything like that. I remember that. And then the little story with Death Row meeting Nas or running into Nas and them checking them. Everybody had their little 2 cents to say about that. And even when Uncle Snoop performed for Donald Trump, I didn't say nothing. But I ain't gonna hold you. This right here is crazy, Uncle Snoop, because to know that you behind the line, I love my baby mother, I never let her go. That was a catchy line, and that was a catchy line that stuck. It wasn't no catchy line that it hit and when it did its own thing, it was out of here. Nah, that's a catchy line that it stuck and people were still saying that and probably still say that to this day. Okay, I remember a few years later. Your boy Cam dissing Nas. He used that same line. He reused that same line right over there. Okay? That was a line that's going to be stuck forever, okay? And to know that you was behind that is crazy. It's diabolical. I don't even like the word diabolical because ever since y'all found out about it, y'all just took it and ran with it and overused it, okay? I can't stand when y'all be doing stuff like that. But, hey, yeah, man, it's just goodness gracious, man. Uncle Stu, why you did that, man? Dang. I can't believe it, man. But I know y'all boys had y'all little thing going on, Snoop and Kurupts, and y'all patched things up. It's just crazy, just, like, I didn't think about this at all, because I was at a loss for words at first, right? Because, like I said, it just went over my head. You know what I'm saying? But this would be a lesson. First of all, Snoop, he human. As humans, we all mess up. We all done did some stuff that we weren't supposed to do. But I just want to throw this out there, and I'm not talking about Snoop on this one right over here. A lot of y'all be glorifying street ninjas, real ninjas and stuff like that, right? Man, listen here, bro. I done been around so many in my life. And I'm talking about so many in my life that glorify that or portray to be that and be acting worse than these females. I'm talking about be on the phone more than them, be gossiping more than them, be doing stuff just like what he did. I'm pretty sure he can take accountability and realize what he did was wrong, right? But I see a lot of street ninjas be doing that, just be gossiping, talking about somebody all the time and doing little stuff like that, be dirty macking, all type of stuff, okay? Be acting worse than females. I've been saying for like the last 20 years, these street ninjas, these ninjas in general be acting like some hoes. You feel me? But, hey, as long as y'all able to take accountability and not make the same mistake over and over again, really twice, hey, you good in my book. But dang, Uncle Snoop, why you did that? Why you did that, man?